Welcome back to another episode of Even Eating, guys. I am joined here with my dear friend Gaff. Say hi, Gaff.
Hey.
Hey. So this week I asked Gaff to be on the podcast just because it's been a pretty intense and crazy couple weeks of energy, and I'm sure you guys have been feeling it if you are walking this path, if you are in this collective, then you know that things are always kind of a little crazy, in the atmosphere. But I wanted to focus this episode on healing after the spiritual war because the path and journey that we've all walked is something that majority of the population on Earth could not even comprehend. I have been experiencing this in my everyday life. If I ever meet new people, it's like it's almost like I don't even know how to you know, how to act or what to say because it's like I've just the journey that I've been on, I'm just like, okay, so I have to act like normal now. It's like, but it's just that disconnect. And so I've been on this amazing path of healing lately, where, I've been healing like my mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical body. But it's just navigating this route has been, we've done it without a map, and I know you have too, Gaff. It's like part of like our journey has been to become leaders for this collective. We are creating the map, and that's what's going on. So I want to ask you, what has it been like for you, navigating your healing journey after these attacks?
Right? I feel like I'm more of in a unique position just because today, dude, and today's actually the 2 year anniversary of when I left my whole life behind. Like I just ghosted my whole life post, you know what I mean? Being hit with direct energy weapons, like at my job, like my being purposely put in sections near the window, me speaking up about that and feeling fucking stupid and having like my manager gaslight me and like just having to dance around explaining it in a way that doesn't sound fucking crazy and like just saying fuck all of this and leaving my life behind, which I don't recommend to people. Like, it's just is what it is. But it's basically healing in any way that I can every day with the budget that I can. So that's why I really like sharing my life because anybody who's targeted knows what it's like to have your finances targeted. So
Mhm.
it's like, how can you raise your frequency on a budget?
Right.
And that's like literally I'm like showing people, you know what I mean? And it gets tricky when you show people your personality, which I feel like you get too, and people get it twisted and people forget like, I've been doing this for years, like feeling like I have no choice but to like leave a just documentation of me. And
Mhm.
it's like you get comfortable sharing your life also, like, you know what I mean, like just being like funny or whatever, just like trying to make people laugh, which is also how you're going to raise your frequency. Stay safe against the spiritual warfare. It's not just what you're eating or what you're consuming physically, it's also like what are you listening to, who are you communicating with, like just every little thing matters. And it's kind of like what we were saying last episode. Literally everything that you do every day matters, even when it feels like it doesn't. Like the minusculest things really do count.
Totally. And I can't believe it's been 2 years, dude. Like, I mean, and I can completely relate, It's like me moving to Bali wasn't just like I'm gonna move to Bali and like I'm not like the other spiritual like, fake like witch priestesses out here. It's like I literally came here because I was escaping my fucking life, back being attacked. And this is how I did it. Um and I also want to, commend you on just like you have been such an inspiration in regards to your humor. The fact that you didn't allow what you went through to take away your personality. For me, it's like mine has been like a steady climb back because I lost my personality during the spiritual war. And like I wasn't funny anymore. I couldn't laugh anything because nothing was funny, But it's like in reality, it's like we're actually living in the divine comedy when it's like when things get so fucked, you have to laugh because it's like
Right?
so we don't cry.
It's like you're literally pushed to that point where you're like, okay, well, it's kind of funny, and you're like, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel
No.
like that's where me and Alex will butt heads because it's like, I don't know. I've just always been like that though when I was little. Like, even when things got really bad, I think it's like also like a growing up totally alone ish. I feel like everybody's got their own story where they can relate to that in some way, but it's like for me, I'm just used to hearing that from Alex being like, how do you know what I mean? Like being hunted in real time, but it's also like really processing what's happening and now it's actually coming out. Like there's children literally being effed to death, right?
Mhm.
It's like, and people aren't even awake to that. Now they finally are. And it's like, I just said it today in a video. It's like what we're experiencing. It's like a blue collar hillbilly hunting party,
Mhm.
gang stalking people, just like an everyday thing for gift cards. It's like hunting parties allowing the poor people to engage in it. But it's like so they can watch it from afar. And like it's almost like that's the human experiment too, of like seeing who would do that,
Right.
how people believe that. I feel like I just got totally off topic. I'm so sorry.
No,
But it's like,
no, this is good because like I actually I'm down to segue down this rabbit hole. But by the way, guys, this episode there's no topic. It's literally just gonna be spitballing and freestyling, you know.
here we are.
Yep.
But like, yeah, like I don't know. And like people again too, you're right, like even seeing you, because I feel like your stuff is like you've got knowledge that a lot of people would and are benefiting from.
Mhm.
And it's like you navigated your way and were I just admire the way that you were smart with your finances and like we're able to have this escape now. It's like creating your own way, building it. You know what I mean? And it's like people, they just see, I don't know, people see what they want to see, I guess is what I want to say.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, absolutely. I mean, what people like you see you and Alex have been witnessing my journey since we came in contact, almost 2 years ago, right? And it's like the journey that I've had on social media has just been so crazy, from, the sacrifices that I've survived and dealing with like ultimate predators that were posing as chosen ones, but were actually hunting me. And it was just, people didn't see that though, because it was like majority of the collective still wasn't going through this yet. A lot of the collective understands now. But it's like the reason why we've been able to acquire this wisdom is because we have seen some crazy shit, like things that I still haven't even like publicly expressed.
Yeah.
Just because it's I think it's too much for the collective nervous system to handle, and therefore it would be ignored. And so I've been kind of holding my tongue on a lot of subjects. Because like I used to speak about it when I was in the thick of it, like talking about the mimic grid and just how AI and tech advanced this shit is.
Yeah.
Because it goes beyond, human comprehension, of like what this place actually is. Um, and it's dark, and the thing is like as the chosen one archetype, we are actually transcending this experience. And so it's like you're literally witnessing yourself because this is something, and this is like we're just rabbit holing this, wow. But it's
Oh,
like,
but people need to hear what you're gonna
yeah,
say.
yeah. So we creation, like in all of creation, it is all in one moment. It is now. I have quite literally been to my other lives. I've seen and experienced the other lives that are happening right now. They're
Yeah.
not separate from this moment. I have gone there and it's all now. And I'm in a tribal incarnation. I've gone there and I'm in Atlantis. It's all right now. And so it's like but anyways, so because the past and the future, guess what? They don't exist. They're right now. They're right
Yeah.
now. And so that's what this whole timelines thing is. I think people use that word a lot and they don't understand what timelines actually are. Um, but it's like they're all stacked on top of each other. The past, present, and future is like that. And
Yep.
so um, we are witnessing ourselves like in our hero's journey. So it's like
Yep.
when you're so this is something like for like this is how I was able to remember the truth and in when I was in my darkest days circling back to healing from the spiritual war, God was able to show me that I already won. I completed my mission in this life. Reaped the rewards of this insane spiritual work that we're doing currently, right? And it all worked out. It all worked out beautiful, more beautiful than I could imagine. And I was given that knowing. And a lot of the collective has received God's promise, right? You know that you've won, but you don't know how. And so that's what that you have to remember is you are literally witnessing yourself go from point A, your spiritual awakening is the beginning of your real life. That life that you were living, the Truman Show, that wasn't your real life. That was your fake life. So it's like
Yeah.
it's actually a blessing to, be spiritually awoken, as fucking crazy and gnarly as it is. Um, like seriously. But it's like you're witnessing yourself become the hero in your story, and it's like you know that regardless of what you're going through right now, you have to understand that you have already won everything that you desire, everything that you wish to become, you already are. You
Yeah.
already are. This is the journey to you acquiring that, and all you have to do is observe. And that's what gave me the momentum to keep going. When I quite literally, when you said 2 years ago, this is the anniversary, this time last year in March of 2025, I was going to unalive myself. I was severely depressed. Because I was so exhausted. And I know a lot of my clients are just so tired because they're like, when does this end? And
Yeah.
it's like, I promise you, it does end, but you have to understand that there is a process to your gnosis. And it's quantum. You have to embody like that. Like when I made Ancient Souls Collective, when I created my website, when I started, making content, like it was like this level of faith that was required was so crazy
Yeah.
that I had no clue of me moving to a different country, but I was following the signs. You have to follow synchronicity. It was just I had no idea if it was going to work or not, and it did because it's like because God rewards your faith, right? It's like
Yeah.
if you know that you're going to be okay, you will be. God is your provider. And so that's something that like people need to remember is that you are the witness and you've escaped the hell that you're currently going through right now. It's over, right?
Yep.
You're just witnessing yourself on how you got there because creation is in one moment, you know. So it's like that's the observer effect is how you can kind of speed up that process.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I feel like too, it's like I like when you explain that because again, I feel like some people aren't gonna get it, but
Mhm.
it's like the people that need to hear it are gonna get that. And it's just like so easy to forget because again, everything that we do, which is why they blast us with poison in any way that they can, so we don't even if we were to remember, it's like we either instantly forget or things or everything else that's happening around us is so what the fuck that
Mhm.
it just completely pulls you just off the path, I guess. I feel like you saying
Totally.
that. It just pulls you out like into a lower frequency.
Mhm.
And it's like people just I get like how other people would understand it, I guess is what I'm trying to say, or not understand it and be like, what the fuck are they talking about? You know what I mean? Because it's like, fuck.
No, well, dude, you're so freaking correct because it's so funny that you said that because when I was because I journal every morning. I journal 3 pages like every day because that's my alone time with God. That's how I receive answers of like what I'm looking for, right? And it's I was journaling because I realized that there was a certain point in my journey I was so much more connected to source and in my ocular vision was crazy, dude. I could see freaking so much. And this is how I've acquired this wisdom, but it was because my spiritual gifts were heightened at that time because
Yeah.
I had no other choice but to like, be so freaking close to God. It was like my life depended on it. And it's
Yeah.
like but because now I've kind of, gotten more into like I'm going to dance classes, I'm going to the gym, I'm going in public now, which is
Yeah.
like, this is a new adventure for me, like so I'm navigating how to deal with people without being like, I was human trafficked by evil pedophiles,
Yeah.
So it's like this is a new adventure for me. But it's like my awareness was so much more heightened at that time. But now that I'm in this comfortable, getting in this comfortable life, I see myself, old cycles are trying to creep back in, old patterns are trying to creep back in. And that's how they get you, is like they try to divert your awareness and your attention to things other than your relationship with God, your relationship with yourself. And it's
Yeah.
like, so that's actually, probably one of the most important things in regards to the healing is like when you're in your spiritual journey, like your dark night of the soul is actually a blessing because you're so freaking close to God because you have no other choice.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And then
And
it's
don't you?
like,
Oh, sorry.
no, what'd you say?
And just like when you're in danger, I felt like my spiritual gifts were really heightened because of how much danger I was in.
Yeah. No, your spiritual gifts like literally like mine activated when I was like quite literally dealing with like psychopathic like serial killers. Like that's who I was surrounded by. And people that were harming their own children and trying to frame me for it. It's like my psychic gifts were out of control at that time. And I was like, and looking back, I'm like, dang, like I was really freaking powerful. Like what happened to that connection? And
Yeah.
it was because these gifts turn on for like, to protect us. But it's like it's when we need them, so it's like to remind us we still have it within us, but it's like if we don't need them, it wouldn't be to our benefit to use them, all day every day. That would just be like, you know what I mean? I think that there's a level of humility that has to come with having so much power where
That's a
it's
good point.
like to understand that we are like God, like this is like the biggest theme in my life right now is that God is our provider and God is going to take care of us. And sometimes when it doesn't feel like it, it's like there was a big God wound I had to heal because I was so mad at God for allowing so much to happen. I was like, what the hell, dude? You know?
But
Um,
really, though, it's like,
yeah,
yeah, right? I don't remember agreeing to all of this.
right,
But then it's like also I don't know, you just and it's just crazy not to like compare, but it's like when you think about like all the kids, you know what I mean? It's like how come that's happening to them and this happened to us? Like some people go their whole lives and live a totally normal life. And it's like that's where it's kind of like everything just a much greater story is taking place, playing out, right? And
right.
like I don't know. Do you feel like it's almost like if Earth is a school, right? It's like, does the trauma represent how many times we've been here? Is it like another level?
So
I'm not
okay,
saying we're above
like
anybody, but I'm saying like, you know what I mean?
yeah, yes, and I love the direction that this is taking because I like this is something that's like totally needs to be talked about. Um, first of all, I want to preface this with all I know is nothing at all, right? That's like that is like the ultimate standpoint that I have to take because it's like God is the one that reveals these truths to me, right? And so it's like and it's so much more complex than we could even fucking fathom. And I've seen and experienced a lot. Like, I've quite literally been to different dimensions. I've been to hell, like literal hell. And so
Yeah.
hell's a real place. It is, but it's not what people think it is. It's still very, very demonic. There's literal demons like freaking manifesting everywhere, but it's like it's not what people think, right? And so um it's like I like from my perspective, like in the Hindu culture, they believe that life on earth is God's um divine drama. They call it the Leela, right?
Yeah.
And this is essentially like it's all aspects of God and this and the aspects that have separated from source. These are people that are not aligned with love and truth, but it's like
Okay.
in the universal law, there has to be the balance of opposites. So it's like as much light, love, and beauty as there is to experience in this world, because there's a lot of, this journey, these entities want to make you think that it's like just pain. That's all there is and suffering. And because it's
Yep.
like on Earth, majority of people, we work, and pay bills and then we die. That's the majority of the social working collective, right? But then us on the spiritual journey, we're like, this is fucking endless suffering. This is hell. And
Yeah.
and so that's what they want you to think though, so you can remain in that vibration. But it's like when you understand that like all the dark, the sickest, most depraved, evil shit that's going on here, there is an equal and opposite amount of beauty and light.
Yep.
And so for me, like I think like the depravity that's happening like with the children and I don't even understand like I can't comprehend it because I know that we're not supposed to. We're literally angels here that have incarnated for this. So we're like, of course, we're like so appalled by it that it's like it's sickening. Um,
Yeah.
but it's like, and I don't even want to like be like, oh, that's why that's happening because it's like there, for in my opinion, it's like there that should never be a thing.
Right. Right. And I'm glad you got it too, because I didn't mean to saying something like that. It's like obviously I it's just me trying to understand out loud. So I don't
Right.
want to say anything to like offend anybody,
No,
but
no.
you know what I mean? It's just like that's a really good point though, that there's just as much love. So when you think of all the hatred, just all the terrible things, it's like really good, just great things do exist as well. And it's almost like we're trapped. It's like they try to just make you forget everything, and just
Right.
how powerful you are to get there and to acquire these things is especially why they do it, right?
Well, 100%. The thing is, it's like all of us are so powerful beyond our wildest imaginations at this moment in time. It's like the like again, I've had a preview of like certain things that we're able to do, and it's like then and God has even shown me like that's not even like the freaking tip of the iceberg of what we're capable of.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like I like part of this realm, yeah, because it's like heaven and hell exist on earth. They both exist right here. And
Yeah.
it's like the dark forces, the evil parasitic beings that are separated from source that are literally like doing all this horrible things to children because they're the closest thing to God. They want to harm God. This is a war on God. That's what
Okay.
they're doing, right? It's because it's like children are like the purest beings on earth. And so
Yeah.
it's all about energy. We are these astral entities food, dude. And that's why the looshing and the attention and energy siphoning. That's why I can't even go to freaking like, I used to love going to music festivals. Dude, like during my spiritual awakening, I had like multiple experiences where I witnessed like the satanic like subliminal brainwashing like on the thing. And I was like, so it's like everything. They are siphoning our energy because they can't create. And so it's all about so they're trying to keep the collective and humanity enslaved in the vibration of hell, not ever becoming aware that heaven exists too. And so
Yeah.
that's part of our mission is that to be the bridge, to be like, hey, do you remember the truth that
Yeah.
heaven is real and that we are here to bring that to humanity?
Yeah. And I think too, it's like we've gotten so used to, again, because they do it on purpose, right? With the frequencies and the music, just literally everything to keep people in a low vibration, that when things are high vibrational, it triggers a lot of people. And it's like the negativity just spirals. So it's like, how can it be like a slow approach to open people's eyes to where most people aren't going to be like, ugh, like, what is this? You know what I mean? Or like find it annoying because they've gotten used to like their negative shell. And
Right?
I'm not saying we're not one of those, like, I'm not one of those people after being targeted, just in the sense of like you said, like being around people again. It's like, oh no.
Well, dude, I still get so freaking paranoid, man, because it's like I think I've healed and I'm good because it's like I've been going to the gym and I'm, going to dance classes and all this stuff. I get like, the Indonesian family that I lived with when I first moved here. they really healed my relationship to other human beings being so beautiful.
Right.
But it's like when it comes to meeting anybody like around my age, I feel like because that's like a lot of people that were harming me were like in my age group. People
Yeah.
that try to make friends with me, I'm like automatically side eye them. I'm like, who sent you? You know? I'm just like, it's such a trauma response, but it's like I realize it's like, okay, like there's still things I need to heal from.
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time though, like I think I had someone commented on one of my videos and like being like, oh, like you need not everybody's out to get you. And that's a good point because that's true. Like not everyone's out to get you, and that's a very salient perspective, one needs to have moving forward.
Yeah.
However, from my personal journey of what I've been through, every freaking time that I tried to open up to someone, because I'm like, oh, not everyone's out to get me, they were out to get me. So it's like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, I can only I only, I told you before we started recording, you're one of the only people that I genuinely know for a fact has gone through what I went through.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the only people I can generally trust at this moment because it's like I can't relate to anybody right now, It's like I don't even know what to say other than oversharing and trauma dumping, being like, have you heard of the Epstein files and what they're doing? You know?
Yeah. It's like it just I relate to that so much, just heavy on the oversharing. Because it's almost like you feel like you have to over explain because you don't want to give these people too much of your time and you don't want to come off a certain type of way saying that. And it's just
Mhm.
like you just hear yourself once you start explaining and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is why,
you're
this
like,
is why I
I
don't do
really,
this,
really didn't have to do that. Could have kept the mystery a little bit.
right? This is why I don't do it. But like, what was I gonna say
These people
before?
out here are like, oh, why'd you move to Bali? And I'm like,
Yeah, it's
how do I even answer that?
right. Is there a place farther? No.
Seriously.
Dude, living vicariously through you on that because I feel like I look like such a freak where I wear headphones everywhere that I go, and a lot of times I don't even have anything playing. Like people will talk to me and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I realize I have headphones in," and I'm like, "Oh no, nothing's playing," and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just don't want people to talk to me." But like yeah, it just makes me feel comfortable, and it just makes me laugh because I don't realize that like I look like such a freak, but I'm like I like it that way, you
Yeah,
know? I'd rather have people be like, "What the fuck?" and not talk to me than
right.
people come up to me. I don't know.
I mean, I think part of like the biggest wound that like, moving forward after, when this all blows over, when the justice that's due comes in, because I truly that's another thing I want to talk about is I know that there's the tide is turning. People are being exposed, systems are coming down. This is an all divine right order as long as it has freaking taken, right?
Yep.
Um, but it's I know the fruition of justice is coming, and it's like the healing of our PTSD, and this isn't just PTSD, this is CPTSD, this is full-blown complex because it's like dealing with satanic ritual abuse when majority of the collective is still asleep, or this is something that was revealed to me also on the journey is a lot of, dude, like there are so many people that are actually, especially in America, this is big in America. Um, it's so many people are part of the Freemasons in these occultist families.
Yep.
And you would never know. You would never know because these people are literally raised to fucking, and this is why like, when someone's like, yo, not everyone's out to get you. I'm like, yeah, homie, but I've seen too much. I've seen too
Right.
much because it's like, it's like I'd rather keep my fucking guard up because it's like people are literally raised in these families since they are children. And so they know that you're the target, but they have to pretend like they're like so this is the problem. This is the issue in the spiritual community. This is why there's so many fake gurus and healers and witches that are like, harming people in ceremonies and stuff. Is because they, the angel, like Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light, right? And so it's like they all have to pretend like they're light or they have no idea what you're talking about. You're crazy.
Yeah, thank you for saying
Crazy.
that. Yeah, because you know what? As we were just talking about like trusting people, I'm like, thank you because now I just remembered why the fuck I don't. But you're right. Like, there's too many people that are comfortable doing that, and again, like you said, they've seen their family members do that,
Hmm.
and it's like there's a select it's literally just the black sheep that are like, hey, this feels weird, like
Right.
why are you masking who you are, or why are you trying to make it seem like what I just experienced isn't that?
Right.
And it's like, you just made me think of just like family members, like Freemason family members, Eastern Star family members, like people that tried to project that I was doing what they were doing when they were the ones that were in a sorority. It's like, people know what the fuck you do, And then you're gonna be like, oh, that they're doing this, this, and this, and it's like, no, you just gave yourself away, bitch. You
Totally.
know? Sorry, I
Um,
just got it. And there's a fly flying around. You
I know,
guys are
I
fucking.
see you spraying that thing. The fucking monitoring spirits, dude. No, but you just reminded me, have you seen that? Have you ever heard of that podcast that We Need to Talk? It's like a Christian podcast.
No.
So it's a really good podcast actually. I'm like, he has really good guests on. But he recently had one about this girl who was in a sorority and she was exposing how fucking demonic it is. And she was like exposing like the crazy demonic shit that they had to do in the hazing. And
Yeah.
she was like, it was full blown worship of Baal, full blown.
Wow.
And it was like, and majority of people in sororities and fraternities aren't going to tell you this because they're all sworn to secrecy. Because what they do is in these ceremonies, they literally like denounce Christ. And that's what they do is like their allegiance is to the group. And it's like it's full blown. So a lot of the people that have been indoctrinated into it, they're not necessarily like aware of like just how far, like how fallen that is. Um,
Yeah.
because it's like, even for me, like I remember being jealous of like, one of my family members that was in a fraternity because I was like, oh man, like I wish I got to be in a sorority, because like I dropped out of college, and so it was like I was like jealous of that experience, and now I'm like, holy shit, that was God protecting me.
Yeah, that's like, dude, for real. Like my sister, my twin sister, she was, I think, the vice president of her sorority. And there was one time that I wore like a t-shirt because like she lived at college, I went to community college, like just totally different experiences. You know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
like, I remember I wore a t-shirt and she was like annoyed that I was wearing it because again, like I don't know these rules and whatever. And like being twins, like we knew everything about each other, and like that's the only thing that I didn't know, and she's like, I literally can't tell you. And like it just, the more that I awakened and it felt like the call was coming from inside the house of who's saying untrue shit about me or why people are looking at me a certain type of way, and it's actually because my sister and her husband were watching me on hidden cameras. Like the actual truth of what happened to me and who tried to make me seem like what for their own financial gain. And then it's like realizing, oh, they also projected what they do onto me. So it's just like,
Yeah.
what what the fuck? And I think a lot more people are doing that. It's like they
Mhm.
think it's normal. This ball worship, this, you know what I mean, doing these things for extra finances. They not only think it's funny because they're letting demons in,
Right.
but it's like they also think it's normal. And I remember like saying to my sister, like this was like a channeled message coming out, and I was talking about like God, and you know what I mean? Like us not growing up religious, like me just saying all these things. And my sister was like, she was like, oh God, like I gotta get up. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like it was just me talking about like things my ex did and like
Yeah.
how I will receive justice and all this stuff. And like it was just the way that she was repulsed by what I was saying. I was like, wait, what? And
Yeah.
it like took me, dude, it took me so, I don't mean to laugh, but it like took me so long to realize like, and it wasn't just her, like my dad, my stepmom, like there's some fucked up people in my family, And it's like, I'm gonna call you, all of you, out because of what you wanted to happen to me. And it's like,
Right.
fuck all of you. Fuck all of you. This is why I left. You know what
Totally.
I mean? Anniversary, but like, and for the longest time I didn't want to say anything because it's like I'm aware of how I look, or the people that they're falsely informing, like trying to like make me look,
Mm.
falsely inform them, have them look at my profiles, flag my content. Anybody that gets compensated to flag my stuff, it's like, have we noticed any karma occurring? Because it's like people not only need justice, but it's like are trying to tell the truth and are being made to look crazy because of what's done. And it's like people don't know what everybody else is going to come out with next because of the depth of their corruption.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they're like spiraling, like wondering, you know what I mean? Like, what else do they know? What else are they going to say? And it's like, dude, like just how you said, it's like this year. And something I said a long time years ago was that these people gave themselves away, and they're going to continue to give themselves away with what they say to actually very important people. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like these moments, and it's like just how, I don't know, like Team Righteous in the spiritual realm is going to push people to tell the truth.
But fully. And so, okay, so this is something that like I want to touch on too because what happens with the issue of these people of when they sell their soul, when they, form these covenants with demonic entities, when they are in, fraternities, sororities, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, whatever it is, when they
Yep.
have quite literally crossed that threshold to become in a covenant of secrecy, which is way more people than people can even fucking imagine right now, guys. This is why it's like it's not like a lot of people aren't ready for this, right? Is like you don't understand just how many people it is. It's a lot. And so
That's a lot.
but when that happens though, they are giving their free will and agency over to a demonic entity. So that's why it's like when you're like, I can't even comprehend that, it's because you're not supposed to, because they're demons now.
Yeah.
That is a demon running that vessel. That is not that person's real soul. But it's like they were naive enough, young enough, wicked enough, to allow that to happen, their pursuit of things, that were not in alignment with God's, God's truth. Um,
Yeah.
but it's like what happens with them is they always overplay their hand because guess what? The devil's not going to protect them. The devil,
Yeah.
the devil
That's a
actually, the devil actually works for God. That's what the devil does. So it's like when I say it's a war on God, I mean that. It's like the devil is actually, collecting souls to drop in front of God for judgment. That's what that is.
yeah.
And so it's like
That's a good point.
and so it's like these people, they think that they're like, oh, like, I'm gonna like be like famous and rich and, get away with all this crazy evil, like corruption. And in reality, the devil's
Till
set
the hellhounds come and
the,
snatch your
the,
ass
the,
up.
the devil and the demons operating through them are freaking setting them up. That's how you know God wins.
Yeah.
This game is rigged
Yeah.
in God's favor always. And it's like, even for us, like
Yep.
when we have chosen and agreed to this mission, we basically like, rather than these evil people that are allowing demonic entities to operate their vessel, when you become the vessel to be used by God, God can move you freely on the chessboard. And it's like you may not be consciously aware of it, but you are always exactly where you need to be. You are saying the things that you need to say
Yep.
exactly at the right time.
Yes.
God reveals to you the things that you need to know exactly at the right time. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's the like, like we said before, it's like it's the polar opposites. They're being used by demonic entities, we're being used by God. And it's
Yeah.
like and and if you're gonna be used by the devil, that sucks for you, dude. You got.
Yeah. No, really though, and
Yeah.
that's a good point too, because you notice that like waking up, it's almost like we recently watched Fallen with Denzel Washington about like showing how the same demon is
Oh,
body hopping.
it jumps bodies, yeah.
Yeah. And
All
it's
that shit
like,
is based on real shit.
Yes, and it's like, so watching that, it just, and just going off of what you just said, it's like waking up and like, for me, like I lived in Maine when I started waking up. So when, everything went down, when like my life was sabotaged, when I sabotaged myself with substance abuse, but like also had people doing rituals on me, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not gonna lie, like I know what it's like to just have, entities and demons like obviously hunt me, but like feel like they were like working through me because my frequency was so low. So it was like you're fighting that fucking internal battle while also conveniently being watched on hidden cameras, right? So it's like I have a lot of embarrassing stuff that I share. But it's like waking up to the people that you've always been around and you're like, why do you feel like a snake, bitch? It's like you can feel the demon in them and you're like, you know what? It's like checking the wind. Something's not right here.
Hmm.
It's you, bitch. Okay. And I'm not saying I wasn't above reproach, being fucking weird and having gone through like my masturbating phase and like we already talked about it. But it's like people did things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not holding myself accountable, right? But it's like people did weird rituals to like watch me and sell me, and I feel really stupid for how I fell for that, and I always feel compelled to call myself out, especially when we're on this podcast. But like call myself out because I'm calling them out, and it's like I'm not afraid to just always keep myself in check or accountable because these people did some fucked up shit, but again, like that's the spiritual warfare.
Hmm. But
So
that's
it's
that.
like, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. But I was gonna say, I'm like, but that's the difference, though, is like you're willing to take accountability. Like people like us on our path, we own every fucked up part of what we've done. We bring it to
Yeah,
the light because that's where our power is. Because it's like anything in like, it's like I have no fucking skeletons in my closet because I've already talked about them all.
right.
Because I'm not ashamed of them. Because it happened and I own it, you know?
Yeah,
And so that's what you do. And the thing is, these people, they would rather fucking die than have
yeah.
their because it's like you think we look crazy, find out what the abusers actually did.
That's what I'm saying though, dude. Like sacrificing your own family members and like secret, like everybody, so many people also, let's just come out and say it. So many people are closeted, down low, by whatever, and they're doing, you know what I mean? They're all like, and it's like they try to project all these other, like they literally project themselves because they know that it would destroy them. They know that they would want to off themselves. So that's why they do it to the black sheep. And it's like, you're right, like that, it has to come full circle, like, and that's why I really get that. I've been getting that for years that they're literally going to give themselves away. And
Right?
it's just a matter of,
Well, it's like I said, like the devil will always overplay their hand because of why? Because of pride.
yep.
Pride will always get them. That spirit of Leviathan and Jezebel, lethal combination. Leviathan and Jezebel operating through a human being, their mission is to destroy that human being. These are demons that hate humans. They fucking hate them. And so it's like they think that they like their host. No. You know? It's like but like they give that vessel that false sense of pride where, like I said, like I have one of the witches, I had so many witches like, come for me, but one of the witches that I used to work with, she like was so bro, she moved into my old room and is living with my cousin and has my entire family brainwashed. And she knows that I know who she is and what she did. And I try to tell everybody, but she did so much witchcraft on everyone that everyone's under her spell. And it's like, but her pride and arrogance in like still living in my room, still freaking trying to assume my identity. It's like I already know God has already shown me that like she's gonna overplay her hand. I already know that,
And
you know.
just think of like where that's just to any logical mind that doesn't make any fucking sense, but it's like the amount of people that are doing exactly what you just said. It's like trying to cloak herself in your energy, taking it so far to move into your old room. Like when I lived with my old roommate, like a lot of my she was giving me a lot of clothes, and God knows what she was turning around and telling other people, right? Who gives a fuck? But
Mhm.
it's like my stuff was going missing. You know what I mean? Stuff that I wore every day, or like just
Right.
like I almost said like unique pieces, like like just clothing wise. But it's they're doing like ritual
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
like stuff that people don't think about. They're being weird as fuck just to take your energy, but it's so people see them how they see you while simultaneously trying to convince you that you're not shit. And it's like, bitch, you're fucking
Right.
stupid.
Totally.
Like,
Totally, dude.
they get
The amount of like friends in the past that have stolen my clothes from me. I have this one friend in Hawaii who like she was like a klepto, would steal all of my shit. And it was like, and she didn't do it. She like, I mean, but it's like it was like crazy. And I would have to have talks with her being like, bro, like stop stealing my shit because I would catch her. And it was like, and but then it's like she kept doing it. And then I was like, okay, well, like, dude, and then now I see what was happening there, but like the rituals that they do with the clothes and it's like this goes back to the this is why I can't fucking trust anyone right now because it's like it's like I've been through too much and yes that's true not everyone's out to get you but at the same time it's like people like us on this journey who walk with an open heart even through hell after we've been betrayed so violently that we still want to trust people that's freaking insane
yeah,
you know
thank you for saying that because yes, people don't realize what a big deal that is.
yeah it
You
is
know?
it is
Or
it's
just
like
people getting so insulted, you know, like and I'm like, Guys, it was my own fucking twin, bro. You know, like my
right.
own, and just like having my mom say stuff to me, like indicating, like she thinks I'm fucking crazy or she believes like just anything my sister and her husband tried to say. And I'm like, this is literally why I was like, fuck all this.
Mhm.
I don't have to be here. You know what I mean? Like, that's where it's like you really kind of almost have that outer body experience of like, none of this actually fucking matters. Why am I gonna stay here with you while all these people do things to sabotage me in the 3D, taking finances, making sure nobody wants to eat in my section, you know what I mean? Working for my uncle, having him say a bunch of stupid ass shit to me, coworkers that I knew since high school, bro, say shit to me indicating that like they were under these false things. And I'm like, I literally was like, fuck all of you.
Mhm.
Literally, fuck all of you. And I don't even mean that like with hate in my heart. I just mean like, fuck you guys for believing it and like fuck me for still being here, like thinking that I have to be around you, or just like, so it's like me saying this right now is to give anybody that sense of reality of like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to, you don't have to talk to anybody just because they're your family. Blood doesn't make you family. Like, I'm just blown away. And like the uncle that I worked for, I told you about, um his son is the detective that I tried to reach out to for years, and he ignored me for years, bro. So I'm like, that just shows like the length of like me being framed, the conflict of interest,
Mhm.
and what's on my Snap story is a work trip that I took, right? And like working for my uncle came to Arizona. This was years prior, but it's literally today. I saw it on my Snap thing. And my cousin's friend, I worked with him. I'm not saying he was bad or anything, but I'm just saying, like, I told him verbatim, I'm going to move to Arizona and I'm never going to talk to anybody again. Fast forward, how many years? 4 years down the road, and that's where I'm at. So, like, realizing that too, I'm just like, oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was a lot. But it's like, just like when you see things, I don't know, 360.
Well,
And
like I said in the beginning, part of you already knew that that was on the timeline, right? It's like because creation's finished, so it's like there are things that like you're not consciously aware of until later, and you're like, whoa, I always knew. I always knew. And it's because you do. It's because this is a remembrance. This is a revival of how you experience reality. And that's what they want to keep you from. Um,
Just blew
and
my fucking mind.
well, it's because it's like you like, this is like how like I remembered that I was Sophia. This is, when not like that plus going through like my other lives and stuff, but it's like I I had left, it's like Neo in the Matrix. I had left myself breadcrumbs of clues my whole life, right?
Yep.
And so that's what everybody has done of like, to help you remember of like your blueprint, what you're here to be doing, you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and it's like what you said earlier about like, your own family, like it's like when I say like majority of the freaking like collective, like they're not ready to fully grasp that like this is way much more intense than people can even imagine. It's like
Yeah.
it's like they're still being God is protecting them from their nervous systems, freaking being like, overloaded. But
That
it's
right
like but eventually it's like, because this what we have all gone through, this brutal freaking, just annihilation of all ego, right? Of just full-blown like surrender and, having to have faith, is it's been a training ground for what's coming, right?
there.
But it's like, first of all, justice is coming. Know that. Do not vibrate in a, because it's like when I say you are the justice, you have to embody the version of faith and frickin' integrity and just like the level of like the person who you are that receives justice, you
Yeah.
know? It's like you cannot be like, in dismay and, despair and sad, because that's how you're still getting attacked. It's
Yep.
like any level of fear, that then they got you. And
Yeah.
I talk about this with one of my clients, is they'll always get like, this is how the Matrix works. They have freaking basically booby trapped this freaking realm for full of fear traps, right? And the number one that will always keep people chained is the financial fear. Um,
Yes.
that
Yes.
that that is literally like that's their freaking ace in the hole, right? And
Keep 'em
that's
broke.
right, right. And so that's why like I think like, you know, that the revival of like, remembering who God is and knowing that like you're always going to be provided for, that has to be programmed into your body of like, I don't know, it's because God loves faith. God loves that like you're like, I don't know fucking how, but it is. Faith plus certainty. It's
Yeah.
it's like faith in the unknown. It's like I don't know how I'm going to receive $1 million by December 1st, but mark my words,
Yeah.
it's happening. I'm I'm,
Dude, but
I'm affirming that.
but for real, it's like God will have you literally hanging off a cliff with your pinky fucking holding you, and it's like he'll turn around and be like, "Do you trust me?
Yes.
Have faith." It's like your faith is always tested to the point where you're like, "What the fuck?" And it's like, but it always will work out, and even when it doesn't feel like it's working out, it's working out.
Totally. A
It's
hundred,
like,
100%.
dude, and it's so fucking crazy. I was gonna you made me think of something else that I was gonna say before. But yeah, just keeping people, just the financial thing. That's so true. And
Hmm.
it's like, you're right though. It's like you will always have what you need. And if you are going without, you're probably being called too fast. Because I did just see a video the other day that reminded me of you, of like tapping into your blueprint by fasting. So you're able to, something about stem cells. I can't say it, quote the video, but I thought of you and I was like, I've been fasting all day. So I'm like, just the way that they get us through the food, that's not really food, it's just identifying as food,
Right.
and it's and none of it's food.
Right. And
So
well, yeah, I mean, so it's like for part of my initiations in the spiritual realm, was I didn't want to fast. Fasting was not something I decided to do. It wasn't a health endeavor that I embarked on. It was something that I had to fucking do for my survival. It was
oh,
literally like I was being so energetically raped in the astrals and like just like bro, like I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It was horrible. But God revealed to me that fasting was the only way, fasting and prayer was the only way to combat this. And
Yep.
so that's when fasting became a big part of my lifestyle where it even got really intense where I would fast, three times a month. And so now ever since the energy is cleared since December, I have actually taken a break from fasting. But recently I was trying to fast and it was like I kept breaking it and I was like, why? What is going on? And it was like
Yeah.
there's so much resistance. I'm like, I used to fast like a pro. What is happening here? And it's like it's clear, like, that, but so when that starts happening though, it's clear that you need to power through it and fast even more because it's like there's a force keeping you from unlocking another level of yourself because that's what fasting does is it reveals you to yourself even more.
Dude, that's and I've just been getting that lately, like to keep, you know what I mean? And same, I'm like, I mean, working out and stuff too. Sometimes I'm like, I gotta eat something. Not
Right?
that I'm eating a crazy amount, but I'm like, I really feel like I need to go a couple days literally with nothing. But it is a process.
Hmm.
But it's like, I feel like I only talk about that stuff on my Facebook subscription because you get like everybody and their mother commenting like whatever, you know? And it's
Hmm.
like, I get it. I'm not telling people because people will perceive it as like, why are you telling me to starve myself? You don't know. Like somebody was like, oh, actually, my weight and like this and that, I don't think that's good for me. I'm like, the message isn't for you, babe. You could
Right.
just keep moving, you know?
Totally.
It's like everybody in the comments, I'm like, okay, I don't want people, I'm genuinely coming from a good place of like what I'm getting spiritually. I don't want people to like harm themselves unintentionally because they're listening to what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, no, we got to have discernment. You know what I mean? And like know what's good for you.
Right.
But it's like we're just talking about doing nothing.
Yeah.
Do nothing. Don't eat.
It's like just disclaimer, we are not medical professionals. Um,
Thank you.
but dude, also though, like there was this freaking guy who commented spiral on one of my posts where I was like, "Oh, comment spiral if you want to like, get a DM about my Spiral Path program." And he used that as an opportunity to be like, "What are your qualifications in?" Like he's like, "How are you qualified to teach any of this?" And I was like, I was just like, right, because it's like I'm like even on my new Facebook that I just made. By the way, guys, my only Facebook is Serafina Salas. I'm gonna tag it,
Follow
because
you for that.
get like a follow. I only have like 75 followers right now, so please up it. But it's like at the top of it, I have University of the School of Hard Knocks because it's like because that's literally what happened. It's like that's my fucking qualification is God does not call the qualified, he qualifies the called.
There you
And
go.
and so that's what it is. And so it's like that's my credentials, bud. It's like
Yeah.
we're not medical professionals, but the thing is we have been chosen. Literally, when people think that there's no chosen one, that's bullshit, right? It's like when you walk this path, you know for a fact that nobody else could really handle this. It's
Or they
like,
just don't want to. They literally don't want to because they're not doing it. You know what I mean?
right.
And that's not saying that you're above anybody, but it's like you have unique wisdom, you know what I mean, that God has given to you. Anybody that sees value in you is going to pay for that because you're not going to get you anywhere else. So this guy trying to like literally make you feel a certain type of way or like attempt to make you feel stupid, it's like, sir, I'm so sorry. You don't see you the way I see me.
Right.
Scoot along, babe.
Right,
Like
right,
that's
right. Go,
your
go, go,
problem.
go hire a certified to like somatic, trauma healer or whatever. Um,
Right.
it's like I like my wisdom was given to me like from source. So it's like, I don't know what to tell you. But
And
that's the
it's like
same thing about the people on your
oh,
Facebook is like, people saying commenting their opinions. It's just like I'm like, how does this content reach you?
that's what I'm saying too, dude. It's like people will see stuff for a reason, but they're still asleep, and it's kind of like That's what makes me think of the Fallen movie, where it's like entities and demons like working through people
Hmm.
just to say something, just to get your energy. They're working through anybody to either make you feel confused, stupid, want you to react, and
Yes.
then it's like just like taking all your energy. So it's like that's why when I get stupid ass comments, I'm just like, thank you so much. Thank you for just taking a moment out of your day and giving me your energy. Like they could say the worst comment in the world and I literally say thank you so much with a bunch of hearts. People are probably like, what the fuck?
Right. No, totally. I mean, it's all about, so this is okay, and then let's segue it back to the topic that we started with, right? This is my healing moving forward, right? Is no reactions ever. It's like you must operate from a place of divine neutrality. And it's like, and the observer effect. Because when you do not react and when you observe and when you allow, this is something I teach my clients. It's the concept of dissolve and allow. It's like everything, like I said, it's all happening. It's already happened. Everything. And the timelines are all stacked on each other. This is a huge teaching, guys. Um, Everything has already happened and you are literally witnessing it all. And whether you choose to engage with an old script that's actually moving out of your field, that's why it's coming up, something that triggers you, and if you can observe it and allow it to be without reacting to it, that allows a new vibration and a better reality that you do prefer to come in. And so it's like as long as you're reacting to old things like, people people fucking with you like, I told you before of like one of the witches that tried to sacrifice me. She's, attempting to contact my family members and stuff. She was
Yeah.
doing that because and I know that she was doing it to get a reaction out of me. And I was just like, what a bitch, you know? But
Yeah.
it's like, so but it's like there was no emotion tied to it because it's like this is where you have to master that emotional body is your emotions will feed this is what these demons loosh off of is like they will feed off of your emotion your attention. And so when
Yep.
you can remain neutral in the observer and you choose to focus on creation, your growth, what you want to build, that's what creates that heaven on earth frequency that you can step into.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna clip that one. That was a good
Yeah. Hey,
because
hey.
that's that just the way you're right. Like everything, things will come up, and it's people don't realize it's a test, and that's been happening a lot this week, dude. Even
Mhm.
a bird pooped on my head. Like there were so many things like
That's good
that.
luck.
Dude, I thought that they just say that to make you feel better, but it's like that so many things. Like it was like the bird pooped in my head, then like I like dropped something all over the floor, and I literally was like, okay. You know what I mean? Like I see what's happening. Even when the bird crapped on my head, I was like, I knew instantly that it wasn't a water drop because it felt thick and cool, and I was like, oh no. And I was like, I'm breezy. I'm cool. You know what I mean? Take me to the next timeline. I accept this shat.
As a gift from the Most High.
Thank you so much. It was actually a little hot out. Thank you. But it's like even Alex was like, it was like I didn't. That's what it was because I went in the gas station and I have to hotspot off his phone, and my money was in my savings. So I went to go pay and realized that the card was going to get declined. So I was like, I'll be right back, and like rushed out. Bird shits on my head. I go to talk to Alex, and Alex is like, "What are you doing?" Like waiting to pump the diesel, and I was like, "Ha, ha, ha." I was like, "Bird just shit on my head. I just need you to turn on the hotspot. I'll explain it later." And it was like, it was so ridiculous. And then Alex noticed the poop on my head. It was like,
You didn't
oh,
wipe it off
I was like, okay.
yet?
I didn't want to like touch it, so I'm just like walking around like a shitty head. Like,
Stop.
it
I'm I'm so done.
was ridiculous. It was
Oh
ridiculous.
man. Your humor is just the best. But okay, I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up. I also wanted to touch on one more thing that I think is very noteworthy about moving the process forward of healing and elevating out of these cycles. And it's something that you do with your wellness deck. It's like we talk about fasting and how fasting is like very important, even intermittent fasting if you can't do a full, day to 3 days. Um, uh, like fruit, like just fruits,
Yeah.
just a fasting of some sort, because it's like this is not, starving your body. This is showing God that you are willing to sacrifice something to receive clarity. That's kind of like that's the biggest reason that you fast, other than for health benefits. But um, like how has your wellness deck like kind of helped you heal from what you've gone through?
I feel like just the whole process of making it, because it's like a lot of cards are channeled. So, like, I'm kind of teaching myself, like, having to Google stuff, like, you know what I mean? So, I'll make the card and I'm like, it forces me to just learn about things that can heal us. And that's why I'm really excited to get it printed and to sell it, because people will
Mhm.
pull for themselves and they'll have to like look into stuff.
Right.
And somebody actually messaged me on Instagram. They don't follow me or anything, and it kind of felt like a fake profile, but they said that they also made an Oracle deck about like wellness and stuff, and they wanted to send it to me. And I was like, oh no, like I don't want to look at anybody else's work until I get mine printed. But if that was genuine, I think that's pretty cool. And I think, like, again, just teaching yourself about things that are meant to be foreign to us,
Right.
allowing these, like giving these things a try, implementing these things, and then seeing how your body feels from that. And it's like you're just doing a combination of things while also raising your frequency, because it's like you're just the way that you're becoming healthier, you know? And then it's like that self-discipline or like that confidence that you're getting because you know you're doing the right thing for your body. So that raises your frequency too. Just like, you know what I mean? Just all around.
Mhm.
Did I answer the initial question? I'm so sorry. I
Yeah,
just feel like
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it's like how it's helped you heal moving forward. Because it's like, but prior to like that girl messaging or whatever, I haven't seen anyone else do that. And it's like that's also, like such a great way to, spread the word about like this is a revival of all things God, all things wellness, all things health, all things abundance,
Yeah.
right? It's like on this journey because we're also teaching people that you don't have to work for the fucking system, dude. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like and that's a great way to create passive income is you're establishing that as part of your personal brand, right? And so and then that will create, like money while you sleep. And
Yeah.
that's something, it's a process. But it's like that's because there's steps to escape hell and, building your like, speaking your story, building your business, helping other people, being of service is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
And then eventually it's like learning how to scale with like what God has given you, as part of the story of you, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like when you understand that God is your provider, it's like there's God's like, guiding the way. It's like you just have to hit the mark, whenever that time comes. It's like because the timeline moves according to you. So it's like you should never be in a rush because it's like, unless you like are ready to evolve and stuff. But it's like if you're in a rush, if you're worried about, oh my God, I'm falling behind, that's not real. That'll keep you in a fear timeline. It's like
That's
understand that you're exactly where you're meant to be and everything moves according to when you're ready to move.
Yeah. And the way you said that too, like how it's a process, it's a humble process,
Oh yeah.
because everybody that's still, in the matrix, but like people that are waking up, and it's like God's going to also send you the right people because you're meant to educate them. You're meant to share something with them for them to create or to change their life. And you know what I mean? And like that looks different to everybody. So it's like people thinking something about you because you don't work a regular job. And it's like, well, also not everybody's been sabotaged. You know what I mean? Like blacklisted and all that. That's a whole other story. So it's
Right.
like people are choosing not to see that you're actually creating your own way after you were pushed out of the Matrix.
No, no, dude, honestly, that's another illusion because it's like people see exactly who the fuck you are. They do. Even because it's been, designed to make you doubt yourself and not believe in yourself. It's like,
Yeah.
could you imagine how far you would be in life right now if none of this happened to you? You know what I mean? If you
Bro.
weren't sabotaged covertly from the fucking beginning of your life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like the people that like, this didn't just happen 4 years ago. This was happening the whole time. But it's like
Yeah.
when you started to wake up, it sped up the process of the grand reveal. So it's like, could you imagine like all the things that you could have done? But it's like, don't even worry about it because it's like this was part of the plan the whole time. Everything is fated, everything. And so it's like the definition of trust the process.
Yeah.
You were,
Wow.
yeah, you.
Let her cook.
Yeah, but it's like you've already won. You're witnessing yourself get there. So if you're in the darkness, if you're in a place that's uncomfortable and you don't like it, it's not for much longer. But how you elevate and get out of that situation is embodied action and the path forward. You will be crushed and humbled for your calling. And
Totally.
that's just the truth. It's like it's not fun for a lot of it. It's fucked. But it's
Very
like
tough.
like there's this inner like knowing in you that it will be worth it somehow.
Yep.
It will. And
Dude.
so it is.
Right? And so I'm going to say it in my water. We're all trillionaires. But that is something that people can do too. It's like, you know what I mean? I am the most abundant.
Yes.
All of my dreams come true. Justice is here for the collective, and so it is.
Yes.
And right? And then
Yes.
I am now enough. Bro, get the fuck out of my way, satanic cults. You're
Yes.
all going down.
You done, son.
You cooked.
Bye, Felicia. Okay, no, I think I'm gonna end it there. That's great. Do you have any final words for the pod?
Dude, as always, believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
I love you.
I love you. Thanks for being on, Gaff. You're the best.
Thank you.